Right, live. I think we're live. Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Sununu. I am the moderator pro tem, as our town moderator, John Hayden, is unable to attend tonight. Tonight's meeting is the first session of town meeting under SB 2, otherwise known as our deliberative session. This meeting is to conduct the business of the town other than voting on the official ballot. I am here to help you, the legislative body, address the issues before it and keep the discussion orderly. For state statute RSA 40:3, the moderator shall preside in the town meetings, regulate the business thereof, decide questions of order, and make a public declaration of every vote passed, and may prescribe rules of proceeding, but such rules may be altered by the town. So before we begin, everyone should have checked in, and registered voters should have received a voter card. If you didn't receive one and are a voter, please check in with Tom and Brittany. Please use your voter card for any tallied votes we take. We not on? Are you good? Oh, okay. As well as to indicate your desire to address the body. The persons here in front are Sue McKinnon, who will be our secretary for the session, and Mark Casper, Kobe Harmon, and Catherine Tarnowski of the Select Board. They're here to address any concerns or questions from the body, along with other officials who are here in attendance. I'll go through the items on the warrant in order for discussion and acceptance by the public body. The approved versions of these warrants will appear on the ballot on Election Day, Tuesday, March 10th. For each article under discussion, I will recognize members of the public who wish to speak. Citizens should raise their cards for recognition. Discussion must be germane and pertain to the warrant or the amendment on the table. Only citizens of the town are allowed to speak unless non-citizens are permitted by a vote of the body. When you are recognized to speak or make a motion or second a motion, please state your name, as we are required under RSA 91A2 to record information in the minutes of this meeting. I also request that you approach the mic to speak so that people online who are watching can hear. I'd like to now entertain a motion to allow public officials of the town of Newfields who do not reside in the town to be permitted to address the body if requested. Would anybody like to make that motion? Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. If all in favor, just please raise your card. Any opposed? Excellent. Thank you. Just to let you know, as a citizen of the town, I am allowed to vote on any matter, but I will not be voting unless a tie needs to be broken. So you all know ahead of time. All discussions will come through the moderator, by which I mean there shall not be back and forth discussions between members of the public. If there is a question or comment which needs response, I'll ask the select board or other town officials to address the matter. If you have questions about the rules of procedure, just raise your card, request a point of order, and I'll do my best to answer any questions. Decisions shall be made by you, the public body. Any rulings made by me, the moderator, can be overruled by the body through a simple majority vote. The only matter which cannot be changed by the body is the intent of the warrant articles before them. Any actions taken by the body must also comport with state statutes, of course. If or when we get to the point of a proposed amendment to a warrant article, I'll go into more detail as to the process of the amendments. Are there any questions before we begin about the process? Excellent. All right, then we'll turn to the warrants. I'll also note that we'll have each warrant article up on the screen here, so that if and when there's an amendment made, instead of everybody having to jot it down, we can do it right on the screen and everybody at home can see as well. So, all right, operating budget for Article 1. Shall the town raise and appropriate as an operating budget, not including appropriations by special warrant articles and other appropriations voted separately, the amounts set forth on the budget posted with a warrant or as amended by vote of the first session, for the purposes set forth therein, totaling $2,359,237. Should this article be defeated, the default budget shall be $2,269,920, which is the same as last year, with certain adjustments required by previous action of the town of Newfields or by law. Or the governing body may hold one special meeting in accordance with RSA 40:13 parts 10 and 16 to take up the issue of a revised operating budget only. Select Board recommends the $2,359,237 as set forth on said budget. Majority vote required. I will turn to Hobie to address the body about Article 1.
Article 1, we worked really hard as a select board this year to maintain and keep our budget growth under control. Factors that hit us last year, we got a 16.3% increase in health insurance for the town employees. This year it was 14.7%. Dental insurance went up 4.4%, and Primex insurance, which covers our property and liability for the town, went up 21.7%, over $9,727. The 2026 budget, the number that we've spoken of $2,359,237, is an increase of 6.02% over last year. And most of that, again, is health insurance and contracts that we have no control over as far as how we can cut them. The amount to be raised by taxation this year is $127,000 of difference from last year, $127,565. We warrant articles, we dropped the, there's two warrant articles, 3 and 4, correction 2 and 3, that will have a tax impact. All the other warrant articles are coming out of undesignated funds. And the amount of money that we used undesignated funds for the warrant articles is down by 7.69%. So we cut the budget on that to try and reduce the impact on the town. And in doing so, we were able to drop the tax rate down. Last year, we were paying $16.09, which reflected municipal, county, local education, and state education. This year, it came back after we adjusted it because we took $175,000 out of undesignated funds to lower the tax rate. So the town tax rate, municipal will be $2.80, county will be 63 cents, and the local education went up from $11.81 to $12.42, a 42% correction, a 12.4% increase. So we got hammered with the contracts, and we got hammered with school local taxes. And surprisingly, the state education went down 5.1%. That's $1.10. So the tax rate is going to be $16.95 per thousand. And it was a long, hard struggle going through every budget, through every line. And I salute the board for its diligence and its work effort. Remember that these are your monies, and the money's coming out of your pockets. And we did everything we could to mitigate the impact while still meeting our primary responsibilities of public safety and fiscal responsibility. Two other points. This year, which will be beneficial, the Greenway will be paid off with one final payment of $60,000 this fall. And then in March in 27, jumping ahead, but we'll be able to sell 399 Piscassic, a property that we seized for lack of payment of taxes, and we'll recover approximately $40,000 out of that. So that will be a factor as far as the budget for next year. So that's $100,000 basically that we'll be able to recover. Any other questions, points? I think that's all I've got, Michael, unless something comes up.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll now open up to questions from the public body. You can ask about the article itself. I think you all should have a copy of the budget or specific lines you can discuss. No questions? Holy smokes. All right. With that, then, I will look for a motion to move the wording of Article 1 as written to the warrant. So we'll got a second. Tom, thank you. All in favor, please raise your cards. Any opposed? You guys are making it easy. All right. Thank you very much. All right. We'll move on to Article 2, future purchase of fire truck capital reserve. Shall the town raise and appropriate the sum of $50,000 to be added to the fire truck capital reserve fund previously established for the future purchase of a new fire truck, recommended by the select board 3-0, majority vote required. Hobie?
Kick this off, and then I'm going to throw it out to the fire chief. Last year, Well, for the past number of years, we put $50,000 a year into this trust fund for the purchase of the truck. And this year, the truck will be coming through. Jeff, you want to jump on this? Can you step up, please? Your microphone.
All the way to.
We still want to go to the podium. Yeah, as most of you know, we've been here, we've done this for quite a few years back in the 80s to, obviously, the cost of fire trucks now has gone skyrocketed. And for me to stand up in front of the town and ask for $1 million for a fire truck, I wouldn't be doing it. So we do have the new truck on. The new truck was ordered 2 years ago. We did make one payment on it back this July, which we owed for the chassis of $429,000. We owe the exact. All right, a lot of figures in my head here. We do have one more payment of $454,854 due upon acceptance of the truck. Truck is scheduled to be end of March timeframe delivery. Currently in the capital reserve, we have about $469,000. So we have enough to cover the cost. Hopefully we won't have any increases. We haven't seen one since the day after I signed the contract. So hopefully it stays the same. But we should be in great shape to pay that. But again, we need to get started on this again. We do have for major purchases, it'll be quite a few more years before we buy something in that $1 million range. But we do have a rescue truck right now, which is a Suburban that we've had a lot of problems with this year. As a matter of fact, it's been out of service for the last 4 or 5 days. In a repair shop, it's been down in and out all year. So that's something in the near future we'll be looking to replace. That's not a major, what I consider a major purchase. That's a, $50,000 to $100,000 purchase versus a $1 million purchase. Which is, this has worked great for the town for many years. So hopefully we continue.
All right, I'll open it up now to the public body. If there's any questions, comments, concerns. Please stand and approach the mic. All right. Thank you, Jane.
Well, just a quick question. I noticed that the warrant article says future purchase of a new fire truck. If you're going to be purchasing, this is probably more of a clarification question. If you're going to be purchasing any other vehicle with this fund other than a fire truck, would you need the warrant article verbiage to be changed? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And also note that the select board are the agents for this fund, so disbursements are authorized through the select board, if that helps the question.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Comments on another card? No? All right. I will look for a motion to accept the language as written. Thank you, Ms. Feenstra. Second by Tom. All in favor? Any opposed? Great. Article 2 will be moved to the warrant. Article 3, Fire Department Equipment Capital Reserve. Shall the town raise and appropriate the sum of $4,000 to be added to the Fire Department Equipment Capital Reserve Fund previously established? Recommended by the Select Board 3-0, majority vote required. Hobie?
I'll just kick this off by saying that we've traditionally done $2,000 into this trust fund. This year, the fire department's requiring some additional equipment. So at the request of the fire chief and the fire department, we bumped it up to 4,000. Jeff, anything you'd like to add, please?
Yeah. So this is for what we call, larger purchases other than just routine stuff every year that I can put in the budget. Our fire gear that we wear, NFPA allows us 10 years. And after 10 years, we still wear it, but if something happened, the town we could be liable that the gear's too old. Some of the things you may have read lately is firefighter cancer awareness and stuff like that. The current gear we have right now is not PFAS free. The new gear is PFAS free. And with that, they can increase the price. So we currently have I have 3 sets of gear on order now. I have another 4 sets that are due to be replaced next year. And it's at $4,300 a set. So that's a coat and a jacket for $4,300. Same thing as we're adding up as our air packs. And some of you may remember, it seems like yesterday we bought air packs. Well, our air packs are out of date in 2028. Again, large purchases. 1 air pack is about $11,000. So our department has gotten a lot smaller since the last purchase. When we purchased 20 of them, this time around, we'd probably be looking to buy 10 or 12. But we got to start saving for them, these large expenses. So I do budget for a couple sets of gear a year in my budget. But as I say, this upcoming year, I think it's 5 sets that need to be replaced.
Questions?
Safety umbrella.
Thank you, Stacy.
What's the balance this year right now in that?
$12,987.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? All right, I'd like to entertain a motion to move the language of Article 3. Tom, thank you. Second, Stacy, thank you. All in favor, please raise your placard. Any opposed? Very easy, thank you. All right, Article 4. Public Safety Building Expendable Trust Fund. Shall the town vote to establish a Public Safety Building Expendable Trust Fund per RSA 31:19A for the purpose of designing, engineering, planning, and other professional services to address the need for public safety building and to raise and appropriate the sum of $50,000 to be placed in this fund, with this amount to come from the December 31st, 2025 unassigned fund balance. No money to be raised by taxation. Further, to name the select board as agents to expend from said fund, recommended by the select board 3-0, majority vote required. Katz, we'll turn to you.
A committee was formed to review the needs assessment and the Primex assessment of the fire and the police departments. And this committee has a mission to reevaluate possible solutions for addressing facility needs that would include the feasibility of one combined location rather than 2 separate locations, based on the needs of each of the locations separately and the scope of the safety issues involved in that review. So this is a committee who is charged with exploring the options and using funds such as this to have engineering studies and potentially surveys of locations to gather information so that moving forward, a recommendation can be made to the town about the feasibility of having both of those services in the same location. So the funds are strictly for an exploratory mission, and the committee is filled with individuals who have construction experience, have public safety experience, environmental engineering experience, and have a vested interest in the stability and safety of this town. So anyone has any questions, and we can to our chiefs as well.
I'd like to jump in on Michael.
Go ahead.
One thing I want to stress on this, that the purpose of this committee is to get, for lack of a better term, X's in the block. There are millions of dollars in federal grants that may be accessible and available. However, you cannot even apply for these grants unless you have all this prep work done. And this $50,000 should be sufficient to allow all the preparation work done to get all the X's in the block. So when the grant applications are filled out and submitted to the feds, they go, okay, you've got every X in the block. So we will accept your grant request and then we'll move forward from that. But without this preliminary work being done, there's no point there's no point in applying for a grant.
Oh, I did make a motion to amend the article as it's written, and it's been addressed a couple of times, like I can take a motion.
Yeah, you can make the motion.
I can make a motion to amend it to provide some clarification as to what a public safety building is.
Okay, so do you have that?
Yes, I do.
Do you have language? Okay,
Do have it written if you'd like it.
yeah. Yeah, great.
There's actually one other term that I was told that was in there, but the one that you read did not include the word preliminary after purchase of preliminary. But it is on the copies that we received tonight. So
I don't
I don't know if you didn't have the
read it. I have the-
that one.
Sure.
Okay.
So the amendment where where it reads, "and other professional services to address the need for public safety building, parenthetically, combined police, fire, and emergency operations center, and to raise and appropriate, et cetera, et cetera." So, yeah, we actually can.
I make
on
a-
the screen. Isn't that lovely?
Magic of technology.
So it's a parenthetical portion of this that has been added to the warrant. All right? So I have a motion for the amendment. Do I have a second for the amendment?
Second the amendment.
All right, Mr. Feenstra will second the amendment. At this point in time, we will discuss the amendment itself. And then we will go back to the warrant, see if there's any additional comments about either the amended or the rejected amendment to the warrant, and then we'll move to a final vote on that. So with that, I will take discussion about the amendment itself. Mr. Price.
Is it possible for one of the selectmen to explain how the funding of this is? With no, I mean, you're funding the trust fund, but not collecting it. You're not collecting it this year.
This, these funds are to be taken from, the unassigned fund balance from ending December 2025. So the
No-
same
no
funds
tax
that,
ramifications.
yeah, no taxes, no future funding. This is a single event funding for this one specific exploratory mission.
Other questions or comments about the amendments as proposed? None? All right, then I will look for a motion to accept the amendment to the warrant article. I have a motion from Mr. Mackey. Do I have a second? I have a second. I'll take from Phyllis. All right, all in favor of the amendment to the warrant article, please raise your cards. Any opposed? Okay, that was easy. We'll now move back to a discussion about the amended warrant. Any comments, questions about the amended warrant? Mike?
Mike and my question relates to, I've heard about I think a study that was done by the insurance company that audited, I believe, the police and the fire facility. So my question is, what did they find in terms of, is there additional liability for the town, like insurance liability? Is there health and safety risks that they've discovered? So kind of what is there was like a third-party audit done. I just like some more details.
And I'll ask the chiefs to speak about the Primex.
For Primex, the town insurer, we had them come out and do an assessment for the police and fire this year. The assessments have been posted on the town website under the police, fire, and the public safety building. So all that information in their assessments regarding many deficiencies as well as safety and health issues are listed in that assessment.
It's on me.
Nancy. No? No.
Nice job. Don't worry, Nancy. We've all been there, Nancy. We've all been there.
It didn't work the same way. This is a new one.
Do you want to piggyback off that?
Yeah, exactly. How the chief said it. Yes, there was some concerns, some health and safety concerns in the fire department. I don't want to get into them all here, but you guys can read the Primex report. If you have any questions, give me a call. We can talk about it. There was some safety, some health issues. It's just, with ventilation and it's tight space, obviously, and a lot of equipment in a small building. I did personally go out and look after this assessment to kind of try to get some ideas of how we could, remediate it at the station there is now. And that would take a lot of money and some additions to be able to put equipment in, that we need to have, like the proper ventilation, like gear storage area. That can't be heated or by a traditional heat system. It has to be temperature controlled. Ventilation in the station. We don't have the proper ventilation in the station right now. All the diesel fumes, when you start the trucks up, go right up to the building and, you know, into our gear and stuff like that. So, I would encourage you to read the assessments, online and
Where's it on the website? Is it on the town website? If you go onto the town of Newfields website, if you click departments under police, it will be there. Under fire, it will be there. And then under committees, if you click the public safety building committee, it's listed on there as well.
I had a hard time finding it too.
Right? Other questions or comments about Article 4 as amended? Toby?
One point I want to offer on that has been discussed. This facility will also be able to serve as a warming and cooling facility for the town in case of hurricanes, snowstorms, heat, et cetera, power failures. So it will be set up so that we can have the citizens there that need the assistance for a place to stay safe during such an event.
All right. Not seeing any additional comments. I will look for motion to move the article as amended. Steve, second? Second, Jeff? All in favor, please raise your card. Any opposed? All right, we'll move the amended Article 4 to the warrant. Article 5, Town Hall Expendable Trust Fund. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be added to the Town Hall Expendable Trust Fund previously established in 1998 for the maintenance and repairs to Town Hall to be funded by the December 31st, 2025 unassigned fund balance. No money to be raised by taxation. Further, to name the select board as agents to expend from said fund, recommended by select board 3-0, majority vote required. Hobie.
Town Hall Expendable Trust Fund put in $20,000 last year. And one of the things that we ended up doing a lot of maintenance on the town hall last year. We brought masons in, we brought 3 different masons in, and they did a walk around and a pretty good eyeballing of the structure. And they spent probably 2.5 to 3 weeks. We hired a mason out of Exeter, and he came in and they re-tuck pointed the whole building where it was failing. There was a lot of water damage that had come through and it was ruining the mortar. And that was one of the reasons. It was the causation of the leakage into the building by the front entry there. So that was a huge expense. I will say the mason was quite impressed with the construction and the brickwork on the building that was done 96 years ago. And he said, with the work you've done, this building will be good for another 96 years. On top of that, all the fascia on the east side of the building was rotten up at the roof line. So we got one of the local contractors to come in and he had it done. I called him and he was there and had it done within 2 days. He jumped right to it because that was all rotten and we had quite a condominium of birds and squirrels living up in the rafters there. And so that was all taken care of, and they used AZEC, a plastic wood type of material. I'm sure some of you folks are familiar with it. So that will no longer be an issue as far as water damage on the fascia up on the east side of the building. And then we had some gutters put in. Because we did that work, and we're looking at right now with about $5,525 in the account in the trust fund. We want to put $10,000 in as the decision of the select board, and that will give us a projected balance, sans interest and capital gains, et cetera, of $15,525 approximately. One of the concerns that we have is that the furnace in this building sputters every now and then and gets a little tired. And this way we will have the resources and have planned ahead for it should it fail. Because we've dealt with other HVAC systems this year, but this will be squared away and we'll be able to move forward on it. So we did the masonry work, the fascia work, furnace work. They did have to do approximately $3,500 worth of furnace work last year on the furnace. And then we also had to do some other minor maintenance. So again, the board recommends a 3-zip.
Thank you. I'll open it up to the body for questions. Tom?
My approach of the sentence further to name the select board as agents to expand from said fund is not listed on our copy. I don't know if you have the.
Oh, do I have an older copy?
Yes, because the warrant article
This is before the DRA? Oh, okay, thank you.
Been established.
Okay. I should have read it off of here instead,
Thank you.
right? I have an old copy. I apologize for that. Thank you, Tom. Other questions about the warrant article as posted? Do you have a question? No?
I would have the same.
Yeah, same, okay.
Yeah.
No, it is not. I had an older version that was removed from the DRA because it wasn't supposed to be part of that warrant article. So it was just correction. What you have on the screen and what you have in your hand is correct. I have the wrong wording in front of it. Any other questions? Phyllis?
That language be in there?
The selectmen are actually already, I believe, the agents of that fund.
Sure.
Yeah. Should have recognized that when I read it, right? Other questions about Article 5? Look for a motion to move Article 5 as written. Steve, thank you. Do I have a second? I'll take Mr. Freeman in the back. All right, everybody in favor, please raise your placards. Any opposed? Very easy, thank you. Article 5 will be moved as written. Article 6, Road Maintenance Expendable Trust Fund. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be added to the Road Maintenance Expendable Trust Fund previously established in 2012 for the maintenance and repairs of town roads to be funded by $25,000 from the December 31st, 2025 unassigned fund balance. No money to be raised from taxation. Recommended by the select board, 3-0, majority vote required. Mark?
This is an easy one. Have you seen our roads? We're basically putting this money aside so that we can continue the road work that we've done from last year. And just like a college fund, if anybody has kids at school, you put that money away way back when, and then you're able to make those big payments later on. That's all this is. It echoes the town hall fund as well. So money well spent. Money well spent.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions or comments from the body about Article 6? Mr. Mackey?
Great comment, great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions about our Road Maintenance Expendable Trust Fund? All right, with that, I will look for a motion to move Article 6 to the warrant as written. Stacy, thank you. The second? Got a second? Thank you. All in favor, please raise your cards. Any opposed? Great, thank you very much. Article 6 will be moved as written. Article 7, Legal Expendable Trust Fund. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $20,000 to be added to the Legal Expendable Trust Fund previously established in 2025 to be funded by the December 31st, 2025 unassigned fund balance? No money to be raised by taxation. Recommended by the select board, 3-0. Majority vote required. Hobie.
So Article 7, Legal Expendable Trust Fund. Last year, we put in $35,000 into this trust fund. At this time last year, we had 3 lawsuits which involved the town. 2 have subsequently been dismissed. 1 remains. It is the quote unquote the Newfields 6 in regards to protesting that transpired during COVID around the governor's house. And the town is co-defendant in it, as is the state of New Hampshire. And so that case is slowly working its way through the legal process. The other thing that the select board did this year, after looking at the monies we spent on legal fees to include October and November for the CTU ramifications with the charitable trust unit requirements, is we went out and we examined and found what we were being charged by our then council, and did a bunch of research and made the decision. The board has changed attorneys from Durban to Chris Bolt, who's an attorney in town, DTC out of Exeter. And it's over $100 an hour cheaper for a senior attorney. And it's a much larger law firm with a deeper bench. and greater knowledge and greater subject matter expertise. So that would have saved us substantial funds over the past year had we transpired that sooner. So because we've got the new town council, we're going to save some money on that. We're down to the one remaining legal event. And this is act and consider all these trust funds as basically a buffer in case we do get jammed up on expenses, that instead of trying to move money around within the budget because we cannot exceed the budget, we now have a fallback resource to cover any unexpected or surprising events that might transpire legally.
Thank you, Obi. I'll open up to the body for questions about Article 7. All right, seeing none then, I will look for a motion to move Article 7 as written. I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. All in favor, please raise your cards. Any opposed? Great. Article 7 will be moved as written. Article 8, Advanced Life Support Municipal Intercept Program Expendable Trust Fund. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be added to the Advanced Life Support Municipal Intercept Program Expendable Trust Fund, previously established in 2025, for the purpose of funding emergency advanced life support paramedic services to be funded by the December 31st, 2025 unassigned fund balance. No money to be raised by taxation. Recommended by the Select Board 3-0, majority vote required. Hobie.
This, as you're all probably familiar or have you heard, we found out a couple of years ago that Exeter Hospital was terminating their advanced life support paramedic system, and they gave us 10 days notice, which resulted in a huge jumping through a hoop trying to find a solution. And I need to commend the Seacoast Fire Chiefs, Chief Buxton, and all the folks who have worked so diligently on this. It has been an evolutionary process. 30 years, the town, we did not have to pay for ALS service because it was provided by Exeter. So then it transpired that now Plastow set up a regional service, and in 2025, we put in $25,000. This year we would like to put in, with the body's approval, $10,000. And both last year and this year, we have a donor in town who is involved with the Downer Foundation, and they have donated our cost last year and our cost this year for a total of $26,000 donation to the town to cover these expenses. With the approval of this $10,000, that'll put $61,000 into this trust fund. And with interest and capital gains, et cetera, it puts us $61,563. There is a line item in the budget, line item number 4229 for $1. And what that is for us is a placeholder. So because at some point we're going to have to kick this onto the budget instead of using the trust fund. So we've been looking ahead on that just to try and lay foundation for moving forward. When this started, we were looking at 13,000, 14,000 year one, jumped up substantially. And then next year was supposed to be in the $40,000 range. And it was for a while there. And this is an ever developing story because I had a conversation with the gentleman who has made the donations, who has been deeply involved in this. And Jeff, I'll roll over to you here in a minute. Originally it was, you had to be a member of the service and you had to pay a fee, and it was going to be based on census of the town and a flat rate per census of how many people we have in the town. And then if you did not join, then you were not going to be eligible for service. Well, then the state came out with a whole addendum that they just published at the end of December that said, yes, and it had the towns had to accept full financial responsibility starting in 2027. So we're kind of looking at that. And then my conversation on the 30th was that they are now looking at having a per call system, which in the ballpark range of $600 to $800 per call, which will escalate, of course, like everything else does as time goes on, which for Newfields, would we have 9, Jeff? 9 ALS calls, I think it was last year?
Yeah, 9 ALS. We have more than that because we might will have remaining on duty.
Yeah.
8% of the time, 30% of the time. So our ALS level of 30, 35 range, but we should less than that.
So we use it. So that'll be it with Plastow. it'll be, as of now, they're estimating $800, which will be a substantial savings for us as a town if that option remains. The Attorney General's office is deeply involved in this. But they're putting the squeeze on Beth Israel Leahy to make sure they get all the monies that they were supposed to set forward. And so that's going on. And the other new point that's just come up is the county is coming up with a substantial donation and will be involved in making Rockingham County and participate in this. I think it is prudent that you take a good look as everybody looks at it and analyzes the numbers and uses the facts and evidence that's available to make their decision. Jeff, what would you like to add, sir?
All right, thank you. I'll open up to the body now for any comments or questions about Article 8. Yes, Mr. Lieberman.
I wonder if you might be able to give us a sense of what you would ideally would like to have total in that expendable trust fund at some point, and how you plan on expending from that fund when the time comes.
Sure thing, Jim. Again, it will be at the select board will be the controlling the disbursements. And it's all I think we're in pretty good shape right now, but this is, again, the nuance of what's transpiring and how things are changing. If they go to where we can pay per call instead of paying a flat fee, because the projected schedule that we received originally was in the range of 40,000, 42,000 for next year. That's a huge difference from 7,200 to 8,000 if we can go per call. And so I think we might be able to hold on this, but it's so tenuous and it's so nebulous trying to figure out what the state, the county, and is transpiring with Plastow and how they're going to sort this all out, and Beth Israel, and how they're going to be able to finally come out with an end product. Does that answer your question, Jim? Kind of, sort of, maybe?
Yeah. Do you plan on expending it all in 1 year or help out?
Well, no, the objective
for
was,
several years.
so that's one reason we put that line item in, that $1 placeholder on the budget in the line items, is so that we can start transferring this obligation to the tax rolls, because it's something that we can't count on donations, and we do not take in unexpended funds. Hurts every time you do it. But so the thought process is that we will be rolling it on into the operating budget as we move forward. Yeah, it's an essential service.
Getting in front of a pending expense.
Other questions? Seeing none, I will look for a motion to move Article 8 as written onto the warrant. Tom, thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Steve. All in favor, please raise your placards. Thank you. Any opposed? No. All right, thank you very much. Article 8 will move as written. Article 9, Library Maintenance Expendable Trust Fund. By citizens petition, shall the town vote to establish a library maintenance expendable trust fund per RSA 31:19A for the purpose of funding expenses necessary to maintain the library building in a good and safe condition, and to repair its systems as may be necessary, and to raise and appropriate $5,000 to be placed in this fund, with the amount to come from the December 31st, 2025 unassigned fund balance. No money to be raised from taxation. Further, to name the select board as agents to expend from said fund. Mark, I believe you will comment on it.
Commended by the select board 3-zip.
This is, as a citizen's petition, was it recommended?
They did vote on
Oh,
it,
okay.
yes,
Okay, recommended 3-0.
money.
Yep.
Well,
Thank you.
So maybe about a month or two ago, maybe 2 months, we were approached with some added expenses for the library, which we weren't expecting. And that, how much was that? $18,000 that we basically were saying, I don't really have that money to just write a check right now. So again, this is has the same sentiment of putting money aside so that we can look forward to future expenses and be able to pay for those things. I don't know if anybody from the library would like to comment on this, or
petitioner.
the petitioner.
Yes. Yes, as right, petitioners have up to 10 minutes to address the body if he so chooses. Actually, believe it or not, that's a state statute.
For a minute.
That's a state statute.
Trustee, I have no reason to speak to this subject at all because it's got the full support of the select board. It is a rainy day type of thinking in regards to the library building specifically, as opposed to fire trucks and many other things the town already supports. So it's just a specific item to help our library. And I certainly hope everyone will support it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'll open it up to the body for discussion about the citizens petition under Article 9. All right, I'll look for a motion to move it as written. The motion, I have a second from Mr. Freem. All in favor, please raise your placard. Thank you. Any opposed? All right, Article 9 will be moved as written. Last one, Article 10, revised tax credit for service-connected total disability. Shall the town vote in accordance with RSA 72:27A to modify the provisions of RSA 72:35 previously adopted for an optional tax credit of $1,900 for a service-connected total and permanent disability? If approved, the article shall take effect for the final property tax bill of the 2026 property tax year. Recommended by the select board 3-0, majority vote required. I think Hobie and Sue were going to address it.
I'm going to phone a friend and pass it off to Steve.
Local tax expert.
So last year, there was a law change that requires us to update our disabled veteran tax credit. So currently, a disabled veteran receives $1,400 for their disability, an additional $500 for being a veteran. And now after we pass this warrant article, it'll just be one lump sum of $1,900. So someone that has a disability due to their service-connected service will get $1,900 off their tax bill rather than the two separate amounts. That's all. Housekeeping, I guess.
It's an admin drill, Steve.
Thank you, Sue. I will open it up to the body for any questions or comments about Article 10. Seeing none, I will ask for a motion. I have a motion from Jeff, second from Tom. All in favor of Article 10 as written? Thank you. Any opposed? All right. So that will conclude our work for tonight. Thank you for attending this deliberative session for the town of Newfields. Please note that the deliberative session for the Newfields Elementary School will take place on Thursday at the school at 6 p.m. The approved language for these warrants from tonight's session will be moved to the official ballot. The second session of the Newfields Town Meeting is our election, where the citizens in the town will vote on these warrants, elect town officers, vote on proposed zoning amendments, which, by the way, there's a handout there. If you have questions, I encourage you to reach out to the planning board of the town to discuss. We'll vote on the school warrants and vote for school officers. This election will take place on March 10th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. I will open it up the floor for any other further comments. Yes.
The cooperative voting, deliberative is tomorrow.
Oh, for down in Exeter. So that would cover the SAU 16 is tomorrow down in Exeter. Thank you, Jane. All right. Anything else?
Yeah.
Is there a motion to adjourn? So moved by Mr. Price, second, Mr. Grella. All in favor? Any opposed? Great. Thank you very much. It's nice. Oh, yeah. Like an efficient meeting. Do I not?